since I was a kid, that's how my first basketball coach taught me how to play. He said this is the right way to play. And Coach Wright, it was never really the flashy things. It was blue collar. Go in, you're gonna play hard, gonna play aggressive, and that's how you're gonna do it. If you can't do that, then minutes will be scarce. So that's just really something I learned at a young age. And every program that I played in after that,
everybody has a why. What is your why?
There's a why.
Have you ever met someone who constantly complains about having to do certain tasks, yet once it's time to get the job done, they attack it with unmatched passion and effort? So that's Josh Hart in a sentence for the New York Knicks this season. Let's find out why he's a force to be reckoned with on the call. So Hart has been an unrelenting ball of tenacity and energy for New York, acting as the heartbeat of their scrappy, overachieving bunch. While Brunson has been the unanimous leader and the go-to scorer for the Knickerbockers, Hart's overlooked contributions as a defensive menace and energy bunny off the bench have been equally important. A lot of the things that he does aren't measured statistically, noted head coach Tom Thibodeau. They just fly all over the place. Speed, get to loose balls, hit the open man, and oftentimes he's not getting the assistance, but he's making the play. So those fighting plays give your team heart. Hart's all-out efforts have been especially important during a difficult mid-season stretch for the Knicks, when injuries ravaged their rotation after the All-Star break, sending defensive stalwarts like OG Anunoby and Julius Randle to the bench. It was Hart who raised his game to help keep New York afloat. Forced into a bigger role as a small ball power forward, the 6'5" Hart simply dug in and willed his way to monster production. In the 10 games without Anunoby and Randle guarding the front court, this scrappy veteran scored 16.5 points, 10.3 rebounds, 5.5 assists and 1.5 steals per game. He logged big minutes, playing out of position, and helped the short-handed Knicks to an even 5-5 record over this tough stretch. That's the beauty of having a guy like Hart on your team. For all his grousing about having to handle unfamiliar tasks, he simply buckled in and handled business, even flourishing in an expanded role. Curious to know from who he drew his inspiration from? Well, according to Hart himself, he drew inspiration for his mindset from the grindhouse film career of rugged NBA vet Patrick Beverley. Hart remembers a particularly vivid memory from his college days at Villanova when Beverley, then with the Houston Rockets, showed up at the team's practice facility for a shoot-around. From the time he walked through the door, Beverley lived up to his reputation, barking at random strangers and riling himself up to perform. Hart became the Knicks' unappreciated X-Factor in 2023-24 by deciding to focus on his unique function and personality, rather than chasing someone else's statistical greatness. Amazing, right? His per-game statistics of 10.2 points, 6.3 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and just under a steal are not particularly impressive. But a closer examination of Hart's on and off-court impact reveals an indisruptible pattern. The Knicks are just better when he's on the court, playing his hallmark brand of high-motor, team-first basketball. With Hart on the floor, New York scores at an incredible pace of 118.4 points per 100 plays, which leads the NBA. When he plays, their offensive rating rises by 5.5 points, which is a significant improvement. They are 2.3 points per 100 possessions stingier defensively, thanks to Hart pressuring opposing wings and wings. Overall, Hart's plus or minus of plus 3.6 points per 100 possessions ranks second on the team, trailing only Brunson's MVP-level performance. It's not bad for a guy who claims he hates guarding smaller players and playing out of position. Ever wondered about the methods they use when players are down? Most importantly, when key players go down, the Knicks have found methods to keep themselves in the playoff chance. Thanks to Hart's tireless efforts to keep the team's hard-hat defensive approach and transition offense going, they've avoided the protracted slumps that may wreck their promising season. Speaking of which, let's provide some context for New York's unexpectedly lively performance in 2023-24. After a disappointing season hampered by injuries, the Knicks retooled their squad over the summer, focusing on playing larger, tougher, and boosting team defense and rebounding numbers. The versatile Anunoby, the rugged Mitchell Robinson, and of course Hart himself arrived as a hard-nosed veteran with strong resumes of high-level two-way play. Smaller, defensively challenged players were let go because they did not match the Knicks' desired new identity. What is the objective? Get back to the obstinate, dirty-guarded strategies that pushed New York to an unexpected fourth-place finish in the Eastern meeting during the past 2020-21 season. Get back to messing things up, breaking the glass and making things extreme for the resistance by means of sheer size, energy and drive. Consider their latest mind-blowing exertion, a 120-103 whipping of the associate driving Boston Celtics. The a lot greater and more grounded Knicks essentially beat the smooth Celtics into accommodation, outbouncing back them 51-33 and getting huge help from great bodies like Robinson and Anunoby. They were super physical, more physical than we were able to match, confessed Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla later. You have to give them a lot of credit for how they sustained that physicality. It was the sort of triumph that proclaimed New York's rise as a genuine power in the Eastern Meeting's top level. By ruling one of the NBA's top groups and overpowering them with size and fierceness, the Knicks showed their new character is something other than empty acting. And can you guess what's the offensive catalyst for Knicks? Jalen Brunson's breakout session has been the offensive catalyst for the Knicks' comeback this season. After being acquired from Dallas in a sign-and-trade deal last summer, the 26-year-old point guard has developed into the go-to scorer and floor manager that the New Yorks urgently required. Brunson's averages of 24.4 points and 6.6 assists per game do not begin to express his true worth and effect. His shooting efficiency has been vital in catalysing the Knicks' offence. They no longer have to stall into isolation plays, but can simply feed Brunson and watch him dismantle defence with this incredible scoring versatility. The young floor general can get a container from any place on the court. He has a powerful mix of solidarity to rule, more modest protectors on downhill drives, artfulness to explore the paint and wrap up a contact, and a reliable stroke to rebuff a force's closeouts from profound. He has already had 7 30-point games this season, taking over in the fourth quarter and leading the Knicks to close victories. Brunson appears to play his best basketball when the pressure is on, demonstrating great poise and patience on big occasions, which is extremely rare for such a young point guard. Just amazing. Besides his scoring and shot production gifts, Brunson has secured himself as a real chief, which the whole Knicks storage space completely upholds. Notwithstanding his freshness in the unmistakable job, his group-first methodology, benevolence and energy on the two finishes have acquired him the admiration of prepared veterans like Hart and Tom Thibodeau. And what's with Brunson's impeccable skills? Brunson keeps the ball moving beautifully, finding his offence within the natural flow and rhythm of the team's set, rather than relying on sluggish isolation plays. His dedication to Thibodeau's growing defence philosophies has been critical in establishing the tone from the point guard spot. Brunson's contagious competitive fire fuels the Knicks, and he feels he can lead them to new heights. Most essentially, Brunson's dynamic two-way play has effectively incorporated with the Knicks' new way of life as a bigger, more physical and proactively dedicated group. He fills in as the best extension between New York's unyielding job players like Hart and their requirement for powerful, hostile support to boost their capacities. And guess what? His relentless drive and readiness to go any length to dominate matches has been great to see quite early on, as has his level of involvement. What drew the best opportunities for Knicks? Basically, without Brunson's exceptional two-way exhibition, the Knicks wouldn't get an opportunity at home court advantage in the end of the season games. Not to mention their momentum position as a main 4 seed in the East. His breakout season has laid out him as one of the best NBA's top new-to-the-scene lead watches, as well as a focal point for working around in New York for a long time. The bar for success has already been significantly elevated above pre-season expectations. So, that's a wrap guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you like learning more about Josh Hart and think he deserves more recognition, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more NBA insights and star spotlights. Catch ya in the next one.